we went back to that. We said that the first chapter is really about the first creation story. And I was telling you, of course, we have two sets of 3 days, the first set and the second set. The second set corresponds to the first set. Okay, do you remember that? So they correspond to each other. Okay, and we said that the main messages of the first creation story is that everything is created by God. Creation is good, as indicated by the number 7. Creation is a covenant. You are my people, I am your God. Okay, and God's promises to Adam in the first creation story, be fertile and multiply. The second, He has dominion over all creatures. And so we went through the second creation story. I was telling you that in the second creation story, the focus is man. He is the center of creation. That's why everything that God will do in the second creation story is always for man. Okay? It's like man will be created and God will actually observe and say, what does he need? He needs the garden, he needs the animals, he needs, of course, the woman. Okay? We have the second creation story. Okay? You have chapter 3. Remember, it's the fall of man. It's regarding the fall of man. Okay? And of course, you remember this, right? So the first generation is, of course, Adam and Eve. And then they had, who is the first son of Adam and Eve? You have Cain. The second, Abel. Unfortunately, Cain killed Abel. Of course, Abel disappears. Therefore, Cain, being a murderer, becomes the evil line, the bad line. Remember? And so you count the 7th generation. Who is the 7th generation? You have Lamech. And Lamech, because he's the 7th generation, therefore, he is the perfection of goodness. Quote unquote perfection. Okay? Because the word perfection in philosophy is not accepted as in the negative. Right? That's why, but Lamech is the highest degree of evil. Okay? Because he is the 7th generation. While on the other side, we said that therefore, since Abel already died, the 3rd son was born. What's the name? Seth. And compared to the other 3, the other 2 sons, by the way, what's the difference of Seth compared to the 2? Something very important. We should never forget. Seth, why is he considered the good line? Why? How do we see that in the Bible? That you can say that Seth really is the good line. Because Seth was born in the image of Adam. It's Adam who is created in the image of God. But Seth, when Seth was born, he was born in the image of Adam. That means Seth inherited the likeness of God in his father, Adam. Do you follow? Okay, so you have all of these numbers. Count up to the 7th generation. If here the 7th generation is Lamech, who is the 7th generation in the good line? You have Enoch. Therefore, if Enoch is the 7th generation, what do you expect? He will be the perfection of goodness. That's why Enoch, what happened to him? Walked with God and disappeared. That's why Enoch did not die, right? He did not die. When he was 365 years old, he walked with the Lord and disappeared. Okay? Therefore, you have Enoch, and then Methuselah, you have Lamech. Now, Lamech is the 9th generation. This is a different Lamech from here. But Lamech, since Enoch walked with the Lord and disappeared, therefore somebody else will play the role of being the perfection of goodness. And who is that? Lamech. And how do we see that in Lamech? Because he lived for a number of 777. The perfection of perfection of perfection. He lived for 777 years. That's why Lamech is the perfection of goodness. Oh, by the way, why do we have the years here while here we don't? What does that mean? Because it is again another way of the writers telling us that this is the good line. Because we care even how old they lived or what was their age when they died. Okay? Compared to this one, we don't care. because they are the evil line. They belong to the evil line. Okay? Now, Lamech, because he's the perfection of goodness, therefore, what do you expect to be his son? Who is the son? Noah. Therefore, if Noah is the son of the perfection of goodness, that's why Noah will be found to be righteous before God. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
Father, number 9 is Lamech, and that's the good line.
Yes.
And then number 7 is Lamech, and that's the evil.
They have the same name but different persons. Okay? They have the same name but different persons. Okay? So Noah, therefore, being the son of the perfection of goodness, he will be found the righteous man. He will be the righteous man. That's why, as I was telling you, okay, so Noah will have 3 sons, but let's go to the next. Okay, we have here, therefore Noah, how many sons will he have? 3. Who is the eldest? Shem. Second, Ham and Japheth. Okay, now, how does the Bible call this line? Oh, you must remember at least some things. How is the evil line called? The evil line. They are called as daughters. Okay, let's begin. Sorry. How the good line called? Sons of heaven. Just think of this. Remember, this is Hebrew culture. Okay, Hebrew culture. It's the men that counts. It's patriarchal. Therefore, the men cannot be the bad guys. Or else you destroy the whole culture. Do you follow? That's why, notice sons, and of course heaven. That's how you remember. Okay? That's why they're called sons of heaven. While the other one, they are the evil line. How do you call them? The Bible calls them as the daughters of man. Notice, daughters. Okay? They would not use here sons because they are patriarchal. Okay? Now, of course, man, because man's desires will always be evil. Now, what happened? What happened? During this time, come on, we're just reviewing. So we're going to go to chapter 7 now. Okay? They will be intermarried. The Bible would tell us that the sons of heaven saw how beautiful the daughters of man were. That they married, what's the right phrase for that? That they married as much, they took as much wives as they want. Okay? Therefore, again, positive combined with the negative, what happens? If you have electric power, you put the negative and positive, it will be okay. Short circuit. That's why, because there will be intermarriages between the two, the good line and the evil line, therefore the world will become completely evil. Everybody will become evil. Right? If you combine the negative and the positive, the good and the bad guys, they're just, all of them will be the same. That's why at this point, okay, we will have what we call as the intermarriages. That's why God in chapter 6, verse 3 said, "My spirit shall not remain in man." Okay? If you go to chapter 6, how do we interpret that? I already taught you that. Come on. Yeah, they don't retain anything. I think we're ready for the test. I should have announced in my absence for 1 month. When I come back, there should be the test. So you have 1 month review. Okay? You must be able to retain at least some things, huh? Okay? Or else you'll be like, okay, how do we interpret this when we say, "My spirit shall not remain in man"? Oh, by the way, when God says, "My spirit shall not remain in man," what does that mean, by the way? First of all, what does that mean? That the spirit will not be in man. Remember creation story, second creation story. You have the clay, the body, and God. In the Bible, in the scriptures, wind and spirit is one word, ruah. So when the breath, when the spirit or the wind is given to man, okay, the body had life. Therefore, when God says, "My spirit shall not remain in man," that means man will die. You follow? I don't know, Father. That means death. Man will die. That's why I was telling you, therefore the question is, what does that mean, Father? Because God will say, "He shall live only for 120 years. Now, there's a big question mark there. Okay, we ask ourselves, what does it mean, Father, that my spirit shall not remain in man and he will only be for 120 years? Are we talking of lifespan of man? Obviously not. Because we don't die at the age of 120, we die different years. Some of us are even younger when they die, right? Therefore, we take the second interpretation. We say that it must have been from that time when God decided to erase everything, okay, destroy everything. It must have been 120 years from that time to the great flood. You follow? Your faces are like blank stares. Am I talking to myself here? Okay, therefore, when we say no desire that is hard conceived was ever anything but evil, how do we, what's our word for that? Concupiscence. Very good. And then I told you that it is so sad in the Bible, it tells us that God regretted that He created man. Okay, that's very, very sad. Okay, I think we're ready to read chapter 7. Okay? This is Noah. You have Shem, Ham, Japheth. Okay? Ark made of copper wood. Dimension. What is the dimension? Length 300 cubits, width 50 cubits, height 30 cubits. Decks 3. Remember, I was telling you, very important also to see the decks. Okay. 2 versions. What's the 2 versions? Chapter 6. 1 version, a pair of every animal and bird. Absolutely. Okay? What's the second version? Which is the beginning of chapter 7. That's why we're in chapter 7 now. 7 pairs of clean birds and animals, and a pair of all the unclean birds and animals. Now in chapter 7, we will see the reason why. Okay, let's begin. Chapter 7. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your household, for you alone in this age have I found to be truly just." Okay, so it's only Noah. Being the son of the perfection of goodness, he will be found to be truly just. Of every clean animal, take with you 7 pairs, a male and its mate. And of the unclean animals, 1 pair, a male and its mate. Likewise, of every clean bird of the air, 7 pairs, a male and a female. And of all the unclean birds, 1 pair, a male and a female. Thus you will keep your issue alive over all the earth. Now look at this. Verse 4. 7 days from now I will bring rain down on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. That means, when Noah built the ark, when the ark was done, Noah was given 7 days to prepare for the flood. Okay? Not building the ark is already done, it's already constructed. He will be given 7 days. 7 days of bringing all the animals. What else? What was the instruction? Chapter 6. What else will he bring? Of course, his family. How many of them? Noah, the wife, 3 sons, and their respective wives. 8 of them. All the animals, and what else? Food. Remember the food. So all of those. He will be given 7 days to do that. Now, my dear friends, that's very important for us to notice. Why do you think 7 days? Perfect number. What else? Creation. Remember, the great flood will be creation story. The great flood will be another creation story. God will erase everything, destroy everything, and He will create again through Noah. That's why notice, even the day that He will prepare, it will be 7 days. Hello? Now, and after the 7 days, there will be 40 days and nights of rain. So 7 days, build the ark. 7 days of preparing. 40 days and nights of rain. Okay. I will wipe out from the surface of the earth every moving creature that I have made. Noah did as the Lord had commanded him. The great flood. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came upon the earth. So he was 600 years old during the flood. Okay? Together with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives, Noah went into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of the clean animals and the unclean, of the birds and of everything that creeps on the ground. 2 by 2, male and female, entered the ark with Noah, just as the Lord had commanded him. As soon as the 7 days were over, the waters of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, it was on that day, all the fountains of the great abyss burst forth, and the floodgates of the sky were opened. Do you remember the floodgates? Where do you find that? In the first creation story, right? What day? Second day, when God created the dome to separate waters above and waters below. And God put floodgates on the dome. Okay? What's the purpose of the floodgate? Why is there a floodgate? Because of the rain. If there's no floodgate, there will be no rain. That's why here, going back to the first creation story, it says, on that night, the floodgates opened. That means there will be continuous rain. Follow? So you must be able to connect the stories. You know, it's only when you are able to connect the stories that you find it very interesting. It's like, oh yeah, that's my creation story. That's why I'm always asking you, do you remember this? You remember this? Because if you don't retain those, you will just be reading like as if nothing happened. So try your best to retain. Okay? That's why notice Father always asks you those questions to help you retain those information. Okay? So I hope you don't find Father always asking you going back to those informations, because those are details that makes our story interesting. For 40 days and 40 nights, heavy rain poured down on the earth. On the precise day named, Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of Noah's sons had entered the ark, together with every kind of wild beast, every kind of domestic animal, every kind of creeping thing of the earth, and every kind of bird. Pairs of all creatures in which there was the breath of life entered the ark with Noah. Those that entered were male and female, and of all species they came, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. The flood continued upon the earth for 40 days. As the waters increased, they lifted the ark so that it rose above the earth. The swelling waters increased greatly, but the ark floated on the surface of the waters. Higher and higher above the earth rose the waters, until all the highest mountains everywhere were submerged, the crest rising 15 cubits higher than the submerged mountains. So can you imagine? Whatever is the highest mountain, how big is the flood? 15 cubits higher than the highest peak. What again is the conversion of a cubit? 1.5 feet. So it's 18 inches. Therefore, if it is 15 cubits higher than the highest peak, therefore it is 22 feet. You follow? 22 feet. So this is like, just imagine yourself, this is maybe 10, 11, more than double of this. Imagine the tip of the highest mountain. From the tip of the highest mountain, 22 feet. Therefore, everything will really be submerged. Why do you think everything will be submerged? Why? Because God will erase everything. Remember, including the floods, all animals, everything that has life will be put to death by God, including the floods. Okay? All creatures that steered on earth perished, birds, cattle, wild animals, and all that swarm on the earth, as well as mankind. Everything on dry land, with the faintest breath of life in its nostrils, died out. The Lord wiped out every living thing on earth, man and cattle, the creeping things and the birds of the air. All were wiped out from the earth. Only Noah and those with him in the ark were left. Chapter 8. We hope to finish up to chapter 9 today. So I hope by this time, your Bible are the same wording as my Bible. You have any problem with that? Because better adjust or else it will be difficult. Remember that one of the basic objectives that we have in class is that we're able to read the story word for word. That's why let's be patient when at times like there are parts of the story when we just have to read, there's not much information, but we cannot skip them. So that at the end of the book of Genesis, we can say, I read the book of Genesis word for word from beginning to end. You follow? Okay, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a lunar calendar. It's a very complicated calendar that they used during that time, but it is the lunar, which is also about 29 to 30 days every month and also 12 months in a year. Okay, but it's not the kind of calendar that we use now. Actually, for me, I have to be honest with you, I stopped when I started reading the scriptures. That's one of those that I just really don't mind anymore. Or else for me, it's like it's not very important. Okay, so where are we? Okay, let's go chapter 8. Chapter 8. The waters maintained their crest over the earth for 150 days. Now, okay, just for us, there will be confusing or conflicting information about the Great Flood. I would like to offer this information to you just as a class to say, okay, this is what we follow. Because there will be conflicting, confusing information. Let's just have the same idea. So how deep was the flood? 15 cubits higher than the highest peak. Okay, it says, for how long was the flood? Was there a flood? 150 days. Okay, now, I offer you this information. Hence, Noah built the ark. Noah built the ark. After he built the ark, for 7 days, he was given 7 days to prepare, bringing everything in the ark. Okay, which is also going back to the number of days of creation. Okay, then after 7 days, you have 40 days and nights of rain. And then after the 40 days and nights of rain, you have 150 days of flood. Because later on you will notice it seems to give us conflicting information. But again, my dear friends, don't be so much focused on the details. It's the message that's more important. Okay, you follow? I'm just offering this to you so that we don't quarrel about these details. Okay? This is what I offer you for us to have the same idea in our mind. Okay? I hope you understand what Father is saying. Okay? Because later on, it will be conflicting. And then you will be going back, I thought, Father, there's 40 days and 40 nights of rain. Now it says there's flood for 40 days and 40 nights. You go crazy. Trying to resolve all of those information. But the truth is, it's not really the main message of the story. Okay? It's not the main message. Last night, there was somebody who was proposing that, Father, maybe we can interpret the 120 days because Noah was 600 years old when he was when there was flood. And he was saying like maybe we can divide it by 7, by the number of 7, but you don't get 120 by dividing 650 by 7. Okay, so okay. At the end, the fountains of the abyss and the floodgates of the sky were closed. There. That means the rain stopped. Now notice, my dear friends, it just said that there was 150 days of flood. And then here it says the floodgates closed in 40 days. Or after the 150 days. It's very conflicting. So confusing. You follow? So don't make yourself go crazy trying to reconcile those informations. Father did that already many times. I went crazy trying to resolve which is really which. 40 days and days of flood or 150 days of rain, or what's really the truth? It will continuously confuse each other. So, why would we make ourselves crazy trying to reconcile those information when that's not really the point of the story? The point of the story is, what's the point of the story? Man has become completely evil. What's next? Because he has completely become evil, God will erase everything. Begin with somebody who is just. Who is just? Noah. Okay? Noah. And then begin anew with Noah. That's the main message of the story. Okay? That's what matters. Okay? At the end of the 150 days, the waters had so diminished that in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. So that's their belief. Okay? The waters continued to diminish until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains appeared. At the end of 40 days, notice, at the end of 40 days, he just said that the flood was there for 150 days, and now at the end of 40 days. One interpretation that I give to that is maybe after the 150 days, you count again 40 days. But that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? That another 40 days is still part of the flood. If you're talking about water still there. So, what the heck? I said, never mind that. It's not very important in the story. Okay? So, at the end of 40 days, Noah opened the hatch he had made in the ark, and he sent out a raven. Poor raven. Most of the time in the story of the great flood, we don't know the raven. We only know the dove. But the truth is, before the dove was sent, it was first the raven. And if you will play your imagination with your imagination, it's kind of funny. Look, listen to this. It said, he sent out the raven to see if the waters had lessened on the earth. It flew back and forth until the waters dried up from the earth. Can you imagine the role of the raven? It's like electric fan. There's water, and the raven was sent, flew back and forth in order to dry the land. Can you imagine poor raven? Okay, but the first bird to be sent is actually a raven. And then the next bird to be sent is a dove. Okay, the dove. How many times was the dove sent? 3 times. 3 times. Okay, it says here. Then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had lessened on the earth. But the dove could find no place to alight and perch, and it returned to him in the ark, for there was water all over the earth. Okay, so it returned. Putting out his hand, he caught the dove and threw it back to him inside the ark. He waited 7 days more. Notice it's always 7, 7, 7. Okay? He waited for 7 days, released the dove again for the 2nd time. Okay? What happened? The dove came back with an olive leaf in his beak. Okay? And then on the 3rd time, waited for 7 days again, and the dove never returned. Okay? Let's read that part. He waited 7 days more and again sent the dove out from the ark. In the evening, the dove came back to him, and there in its bill was a plucked off olive leaf. So no one knew that the waters had lessened on the earth. He waited still another 7 days and then released the dove once more, and this time it did not come back. In the 601st year of Noah's life, in the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month, the water began to dry up on the earth. Noah then removed the covering of the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was drying up. In the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Go out of the ark, together with your wife and your sons' wives. Bring out with you every living thing that is with you, all bodily creatures, be they birds or animals or creeping things of the earth, and let them abound on the earth, breeding and multiplying on it." So Noah came out, together with his wife and his sons' wives, and all the animals, wild and tame, all the birds and all the creeping creatures of the earth left the ark, one kind after another. Then Noah, here comes the 7 pairs of clean birds and 7 pairs of clean animals. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and choosing from every clean animal And every clean bird he offered holocaust on the altar. Now we find the reason why all of a sudden, most of the time, Noah is told to bring a pair of all the birds and a pair of animals. And there's an insert in the story that he was asked to bring 7 pairs of clean birds, 7 pairs of clean animals, and a pair of all the other unclean birds and animals. The reason? We find it here. Because immediately after the flood, the first thing that Noah will do is offer sacrifice. And what do you offer? Clean bird and clean animals. You don't offer the unclean. Okay? The unblemished animal. Okay? No wonder it is 7 pairs. Then Noah built an altar. When the Lord smelled this sweet odor, he said to himself, never again will I doom the earth because of man. Here comes again the concupiscence. Since the desires of man's hearts are evil from the start, nor will I ever again strike down all living beings as I have done. As long as the earth lasts, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Okay? I hope we can finish chapter 9, because after chapter 9, we'll be jumping to another story. We'll be going into generation, and then another story begins. Okay, so let's finish chapter 9. Covenant with Noah. Now, notice, or remember, that the great flood is, as I told you, another creation story. Going back to the second creation story, what are the 2 commands or promises of God to Adam? Be fertile and multiply. Second, have dominion. Now remember, now is Noah the new Adam. Therefore, if it is really a new creation, he will receive the same command. Okay? He will receive the same command. Now here, chapter 9. God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fertile and multiply. Going back to the creation story with Adam. Be fertile and multiply. And fill the earth. Second, dread, fear of you shall come upon all the animals of the earth and all the birds of the air. Notice that. So the 2 commands or promises, however you call that, given to Adam is also given to Noah. Be fertile and multiply. You want to see the comparison? Here, you find the promise to Adam here, chapter 1, verse 28. With Noah, it will be chapter 9, verse 1. And then dominion over the animals, you find that also in chapter 1, verse 28. You find it in chapter 9, verse 2. So the promises given to Adam will be the same promises to Noah. It's a new creation. Every creature that is alive and here. Upon all the creatures that move about on the ground and all the fishes of the sea, into your power they are delivered. Notice, take note of verse 3. It says, every creature that is alive shall be yours to eat. Every creature that is alive shall be yours to eat. During the time of Noah, what's the food of man? Plants. In the beginning, the food that is given to man is only plants. It's only after the great flood will God tell man that now you can eat the animals. Okay. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. This is to Adam. God is talking to Adam. He says, see, I give you every seed-bearing plant all over the earth and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit on it to be your food. To Adam, God did not give the permission to eat the animals. It will be only after the great flood will God say, every living creature shall be given to you as food, include as I did the green plants. Now, this will be a very complicated issue We will be talking about fritada and dinuguan for the Filipinos. Okay, are we allowed to eat those and everything? But going back to the history of it, this is the earliest. In the beginning, it was just a seed-bearing plant and seed-bearing fruits. And then later on, during the time of Noah, they will be allowed to eat living creatures. Okay, so move, okay?
So that's the same where it says, dread fear of you shall come upon all the animals. Could that be because the animals knew that they were going to be man's food? Because before it was just dominion over the animals, right? But now the fact that it says dread fear of you.
Well, I interpret that more of as dominion of man over the animals. That's how I interpret that. More of that. Let me look at that, but I never thought of that, like, because they will be food. It's more of, for me, it's more of another way of God putting it into, you will have dominion over all the animals. They will have fear of man. Okay?
I think it's the word dread.
Yeah, dread fear.
And then made me think about, oh, maybe the animals.
Because they will be food for the first time. Okay, let's reflect on that. Okay? Only flesh, okay, this is the condition. Did I put it here? Says, only flesh with its lifeblood still in it, you shall not eat. You're allowed to eat the animals, but there should be no blood in it. That's why they were not allowed to strangle animals. They have to drain the blood. Okay? Fritada. But it's good, Father. Fritada. Why do you think drain the blood? Why do you think drain the blood? Because remember, I think I've mentioned that to you in the Advent retreat, the Lenten retreat. I mentioned that to you that for the Jews, blood is life. Because their experience is that if you remove the blood in the living creature dies. Therefore, for them, blood is life. That's why you are not allowed to eat the blood because you are actually eating life. And life is God's. That's not yours. You follow? That's the belief of the Jews. That's why they were not allowed to eat blood. If you eat the animals, you must drain the blood. Okay, we're taking it step by step. Okay. You're able to follow so far? Yes. Okay, let's continue. Did I put here? Okay. It is not, okay, I'm jumping. Okay, now, but Father, I am skipping a great generation of ideas in between. I will be jumping to the New Testament, okay, just to make a conclusion to our discussion. So, Father, why is it if we are saying that we are not supposed to eat meat with the blood still in it, but why do we eat fritada? Okay? Fast forward to the New Testament, remember what Jesus said in Matthew, and you can also find it in the Gospel of Mark. You know the greatest jump that I make here, because it's very complicated, I think it's enough for us to understand that in the New Testament, this is already the belief. Or else, we get into trouble of going into the nitty-gritty of the tradition. It goes back to the time, remember the Jews don't eat meat with blood in it because of the Genesis. Okay, remember? Now, remember when the Gentiles were getting converted to Christianity. The Gentiles eat meat. And remember the argument among the apostles. They were saying, are we allowing them to join us without being circumcised? Are we also receiving the meat even though they eat? Remember that? And there was a very complicated argument among the disciples. And they said, it is the Spirit that cleansed them. I skipped that part. It's very complicated. Move forward to the New Testament. Jesus himself said, "It is not what enters one's mouth that defiles that person, but what comes out of the mouth is what defiles one." Therefore, with these words of Jesus Christ, we are told that it is not what enters man that defiles him. The truth is, it is what comes out of man. How do you interpret that? Because for us, it's easier to understand. When you eat and it's dirty, you become dirty. Very easy. But how does what comes out of man defiles him? How do you understand that? That's why you are there, Father. Again, go. I want to use the philosophy of John Paul II. You all know that Pope John Paul II is a philosopher, right? And the philosophy of John Paul II is the acting person. The acting person. John Paul II defines or describes man by the actions that he makes. John Paul II said, you judge the man by the action that he makes. Because the actions are indicative of what's within. When somebody does evil, does crazy things, evil things, will you believe that man when he says, you know, I'm just doing those bad things, but inside I'm really good? Do you believe that? Because what comes out of you is a product of what's within. That's why if your within is evil, everything will be evil. If your heart has evil desires, everything will be shown in your action. That's why, how will you know what's within? Look at the actions. Okay? You follow? That's why John Paul II says that man is acting person. You look at the acts of the person and then you judge him by the acts. Because everything that you do is a product of what's within. That's why you become a bad person by what's within. You follow? Yes. Even though you eat meat, if you are good within, you're good. Even though you don't eat meat, if you are evil within, you're evil. Don't tell me, I don't eat meat, I'm good. That's why for Jesus, intentionality is more important. Intentionality. Jesus even goes beyond that. Remember what he said? By just looking at the woman lustfully, you're already committing adultery. Because that's what's within. My dear friends, in morality, every action that we do becomes good or bad depending on these three elements. In every action that you do, think of these three things. Three things. Number one, you can tell your action or your behavior to be good or moral if you pass these three things. Number one, act itself. The act itself. What you committed itself, if it itself bad, it is bad. For example, killing a person, act itself is bad. Okay, just look at the act. Is killing bad? It's bad. Second, which is for Jesus even more important, intention. Intention. A particular act can be good or bad depending on intention. The same particular act can be good or bad depending on intention. I'll give you an example. I know that she is in need, I help her. And I help her because my belief as a Catholic, the command of the Lord is, you should help those who are in need. Therefore, the act, helping, is it good? The act, good or bad? Good. The intention of helping, is it good or bad? Good. I changed my intention. She is in need, I help her. Is that good or bad? Good. Okay. but my intention of helping her so that when the time comes, when I am in need, you cannot say no to me. That's my intention of helping. Is the intention good or bad? Therefore, that act becomes bad. Same act, the same action of cheating. But the other one becomes good, the other one becomes bad because the intention is evil. Third, circumstance or situation. If it is a bad circumstance, bad situation, even though the act is good and the intention is good, the act becomes bad. Okay, I hope I don't know anybody of you in your ministry, huh? So, for example, she's a lector. She's a lector. I am a lector too. She's assigned to serve today. She read, she proclaimed. She did something wrong in the proclamation. Okay, here I come. I want to help her. I will correct her. Is correcting a brother wrong or good or bad? Good. My intention is to help her. Is the intention good or bad? But I corrected her in front of her friends. That's where we usually fail. That's why, my dear friends, even though you have a good act, even though you have good intention, if you did it in the wrong place, wrong situation, that's bad. We'll fight. Okay? Should always be good act, good intention, good circumstance. One of those is bad, it's bad. Follow? And normally in human relations, that's where we fail. Circumstance. Yes, ma'am.
So when does it become a mortal sin?
Again, sorry.
When does an act that is bad become a mortal sin?
Oh, when an act is bad, it's bad. That's why the first thing that you judge is the act. You go to the act first. Act. Oh, that's good. Okay. But what is the purpose of doing it? Because they are friends. He really wants to, okay, good. But he did it in front of everybody else. The person was embarrassed and everything. Oh, it's bad. So those are the levels of judging. You judge first the act, then the intention, and then the circumstance. Well, there are some debatable areas there. Huh? For example, killing in occasions of war, just war and everything. But generally, killing in itself is really bad. And there is big difference between justified and evil. Huh? It's still evil, justified. Okay? Self-defense. You kill the person, still bad. You still kill the person, but you did it in self-defense, justified. So there's a big difference between evil and justified. Life is only God's. Okay, so if you do that, you still have to go to confession, but you are justified. You know what I mean? There's a valid reason why you committed that. Okay, so those three things, very important in our day-to-day. So every time you do something, or especially you're faced with a difficult situation, always think of that. Number one, is this good? What's my intention? Is this the right place and the right situation, right time? Okay. Okay. So if you pass those three, go ahead. If one is questionable, pause for a moment and reflect. So what I'm going to do. So from now on, it's good, my intention. Other life becomes so slow. Eat. Stay. Is this good? What's my intention? But honestly, that's how you judge the morality of action. Yes?
What about they're always like helping out, but the one you're helping doesn't do something in return?
Oh, if your intention of helping is to receive something in return, the intention is bad. change his life. So let's make it more particular. Okay, all our eyes are open to the realities. Like, when I drive Aganya, leaving Cathedral, coming here, I always pass by, of course, Academy, then turn left to the court, right? And then the corner. In that corner, we have a lot of, how do you call them? The homeless. It's like as a priest, sometimes I close my eyes. I close my eyes. Because the truth is, when we help, we just help. Whether the person does good or bad with that help, that's none of our business anymore. But if it is clear to you that it is not really good to help, then you should not help. But are we clear? Is it really bad? We don't know. These people might really be in need. You know what I mean? It's more, I think it's even a more difficult situation in the Philippines when we have all of those issues about syndicates or like they use all of these beggars to earn. That becomes more. I don't know if we have that here as well. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's a very gray area. That's a very gray area. Unless the point is when you help, it already depends on the person whether he does good or bad with your help. Right? But if you are very clear and sure that when you help, what he will do with the help is bad, you should not help. Because it's very clear. Do you follow? But most of the time, it's not sure. So you should help. It is only when you are sure that it will go to evil, then you should not help. But that's very difficult. That's very difficult to judge. For me, if you ask me, on my personal level, that's the teaching of the church. My personal level, sometimes I just really have, let God be the judge. At least on my side, I know. But that's easier said than done. Even me as a priest, as I said, how many times do I pass by the street? Every day. Just today, how many times did I pass by there? I said, Mass in Champago, I went to Toto, and every time the same people on the street. Okay? And sometimes you would see them actually quarreling. Okay? You saw that on Facebook, right? Because they were fighting. I pity the other guy. Anyway, so are we able to finish chapter? What time is it? Oh, it's time. It's time. Okay, so shall we continue? Shall we end here? Shall we end here? Okay, we end here. So we're not able to finish chapter 9. We'll finish chapter 9 later on. Okay, so this will be, I know nothing else. Okay, so how do we say that what defines a person? That's actually my question. So how do you say, Father, that what comes out of the person, of the mouth, is what defines one? That's why the next verse it says, do you not realize that everything that enters the mouth passes through the stomach and it's expelled into the latrine and it's gone? But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and they defile. That's with wine. And they defile. Because when the heart is evil, everything becomes evil. That's why the next verse, notice the next verse, that's why he says, from the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, unchastity, theft, false witness, blasphemy. All of this is a product of what's within. And they defile. They defile. Okay, let's end. Let us all stand for the prayer.